What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Skatepark Showcase. Today I'm in Lake Panasoffkee, Florida at the Lake Panasoffkee Skatepark. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's not very big, and I've already noticed it does have a few issues, so let's just get right to it. All right, Lake Panasoffkee. I actually didn't know about this place until someone commented on a previous episode in Bushnell, and it's very, very close to Bushnell. It's kind of a really rural area, not a whole huge population around here. It's just off the interstate. It's just south of Ocala and just west of Orlando. So it's a pretty decent location around a lot of populated areas, but this area itself feels pretty empty out here, but it actually looks really nice. It's a nice environment. Let's get into this skate park. That kind of brings us into the first impressions. It is not a huge skate park. It's a prefab park, all metal ramps. With it being in Florida, it can get pretty hot, but it wasn't too bad today. The first time I was out here, I just was stopping by to check it out. I flew my drone around and things looked pretty good. Came out here today and noticed that there was dirt all over the place. So me and my girlfriend had a fun time cleaning up everything. So we didn't really have the proper tools to do it, but we got it good enough to skate. It's a pretty straightforward park, nothing abnormal when it comes to layout. I'd basically break it down into 3 different sections. You've got the mini ramp, the street course, and flat ground elements. There are 4 different elements. On the outside edges, there are 2 grind boxes and what I'm sitting on right here, and they're pretty tall. The angle iron on them is really nice, pretty fresh. These haven't really been skated a ton, so they're not worn down. I didn't have my wax today, so I was struggling a little bit, and it's like knee height for me, so couldn't really do a whole lot, but what I was able to do, it felt pretty good. These things are super solid, like they're concrete, so they're not going anywhere. Yeah, they're pretty high, but they're fun to skate for sure. In the middle of the park, you've got a small square grind rail. It's a typical grind rail, pretty easy to skate, no complaints about it at all. And it actually slid really well, even though I didn't have any wax. And now the final thing is this weird grind box combo mani pad thing with a grind box in between them thing that I don't really understand why it's here. You can hit both of them as mani pads. Basically, there's one on each side and one's a little bit shorter than the other. For grind boxes, they skate really well. They're angled a little bit, so they're easy to hit. And you can skate them as mani pads as long as you come at a specific angle so you don't run into the other mani pad. And then there's this thing in the middle, which is another grind box sitting on top of it. And at first, I thought maybe somebody picked it up and put it up here. But then if you look on the back side, it's been welded to it. It doesn't even like sit on it properly. It's like they just built it, sat it on there, and then welded it. Like these tiny welds on each side, only on the back side. And it just feels really out of place. It's very difficult to get any speed or run up to hit it. It's too quick to ollie up on top of the box and then hit it. It's almost too quick to run and jump onto the board that's already on top of the box and then hit it. I was only able to get a 50, like going super slow on it. And that was it. It's kind of a pointless obstacle. I can tell it hasn't really been skated that much. So I don't know, it's like you see it and you think it's cool and then you skate it and you're like, oh, this is kind of frustrating. So yeah, not really sure what the thought process was behind that. But the 2 grind boxes sitting on the ground are really nice and a lot of fun to skate. There's a super nice mini ramp out here. It is metal, of course, but it feels really good. It's really smooth. It's 4 foot tall, 16 foot wide. Really no complaints on it. Like the radius of the transition is perfect. It feels really, really good. The only downside to this mini ramp is, and it has nothing to do with the mini ramp itself, it's that somebody has spilled Coke all over it, some sort of sticky liquid substance, and it is pretty sticky and it'll get all over your wheels. So that was a bit annoying, but other than that, it was perfectly fun. So the street section is pretty small, nothing too crazy. You can't really do much with a park this size anyway, so let's just go through each of the obstacles. On one side, connected to the mini ramp, there is a quarter pipe. It's the same radius as the mini ramp, 4 foot tall. I think it's about 12 foot wide. It's super easy to skate and you can get plenty of speed with it. On the opposite side, there is a bank. It has nice curved edges going up into it, and it's nice and steep so you can get plenty of speed to go back and forth here at the park. And I always love a good solid bank. It's nice and wide, easy to skate, and you feel really comfortable on it. All right, now we've got the fun box. I'm gonna pick this sucker apart. No, it's really not that bad. First thing I skated on it, obviously I always gravitate towards hips. I love hips. It's a little bit steep, but once I got used to it, it wasn't that bad. My only issue I was running into is the dirt that had been thrown around out here. I could hear it and feel it on my wheels, and that was kind of sketching me out a little bit. But if it wasn't for that, it would have been even more fun to skate. So if you have a broom, come out here and sweep it away and you'll be good to go. On top of that, there is a grind ledge. I just hit the top real quick because I was kind of running out of time. So super solid, no complaints on it at all. It feels good and it grinded really well. And now we get to the other side of the fun box where there is a stair set and a handrail. Time and time again, I come across this issue where the flat is just not long enough. It's a 5 foot flat. It's just tough to get set up for stuff like that. I think they would have been better off just not having a stair set there because of two issues. One, the flat's just not very long. Secondly, it's not very wide. It's 4 foot wide total, and then there's a rail going down one side and then the ledge on the other, and it feels super, super cramped. It's crazy. The rail is even inset a little bit onto the ramp, so it's kind of like you only have 3 feet of wiggle room. 4 foot is okay sometimes, as long as there's nothing on the left and right of you. It feels much more easy. Like, you just don't feel cramped skating a 4 foot stair set as long as there's nothing on the left and right. But since this has something on the left and the right, and that rail's inset some, it just feels really cramped and really awkward. I was able to get a couple things on it, but it was a struggle. Like, I had it just in my head, I had to just be like, don't think about anything that's around it and just do it, just go for it. So another frustrating stair set. I come across these a lot. This is probably one of the worst ones that I've been to. Some of them are pretty manageable, but this one was really tough to skate. And that pretty much wraps it up. There's not a whole lot out here, but it definitely is a fun. The 2 times I've been out here, I haven't seen anybody, so I'm not sure if there's an active skate community or not. It doesn't seem like there is. I mean, there's graffiti, and that's been here and hasn't been gotten rid of. The dirt being all over the place, I don't know what's up with that, like who did that or thought that was a funny idea, but it clearly hasn't been cleaned up, and it looks like it's been here for a little while. So I'm not really sure who comes out here and takes care of it, how often it's taken care of. This is in like a nice recreational facility with baseball fields, soccer fields, and all that stuff, but it doesn't seem that people really care about the skate park that much, which is kind of frustrating, it being in such a nice area like this. So maybe that'll change in the future, hopefully, because everything around here looks really nice. There are no lights out here. There are lights everywhere else, so that's another frustration. The park is open until 10 o'clock. I haven't been out here at night to know if the other lights on the surrounding fields light up this place well enough or not. I'm assuming it probably does a little bit, but it's probably still pretty tough to skate at night. There is a restroom just a stone's throw away. It's not the best in the world, but it's, you know, it's a restroom, so that's nice. And no waiver, no helmets. You just come up here and skate. There are a lot of skate parks in this area other than this one, and some of them that I've been to are a little bit better. So if you're a traveler, I'd probably skip over this one and go to some of the other ones in this area, especially off to the east in between here and Orlando. There's definitely like a good cluster of skate parks in that area that I would recommend checking out. I haven't hit all of them, but I've hit a few of them. So that's it. Thanks for sticking around for another episode of Skate Park Showcase. Real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Your monthly donations help keep me on the road. And if you would like to donate, just go to patreon.com/parksharks. As little as $1 a month goes a really, really long way. But if you can't donate and you want to help in other ways, you can definitely do that for free just by liking this channel, subscribing, but most importantly, sharing it with your buddies, because you never know, I might come to a skate park that they don't know about. And here's what's coming up next.